Hi, this is David again, and I wanted to do a video on an expectation that if you join the Mormon Church, you're never told about. There's about 10,000 of those things. This is just one. This is just one. It's about the magazines of the church. Now, remember, when you're a Mormon and you're called to a position, it could be opening the door of the chapel position. It could be the janitor position, which most Mormons have now anyway, because there's no janitors, they're out of money. Anyway, anytime you're called to a new position, you're a president or a vice president or a counselor or a supervisor. There's never a negative word like employee. There's never a word like common man. It's never, because cults always puff you up. They puff you up and they give you these titles that you don't earn. You know, I have a master's degree, so when I have almost two master's degrees. So when I sign my name, I legally and have the right to put, you know, an MS, M period S, or Master of Science after my name. God, I earned that. Jesus, I went to 4 years of college at BYU, and then I went to another 3 or 4 years of college in the master's area and finally got one degree. And I'm missing 4 or 5 credits for the other one. But the point is, when you're a doctor or you're a DSD, a dentist of, what is it, DDS, when you a CPA, when you've earned those damn degrees and the Dr. Smith, God, you know, for the Mormon Church to just pick up those terms irrationally and impose them on bus drivers, truck drivers, maintenance people, plumbers, president plumber. Now, I'm not putting down the trades. I was in the trades. I was a glazer in the union for a couple of years in Los Angeles. So I'm not putting trades down. I'm just saying, if you're president of the plumber school, that's a different thing. But if you're president of the elders quorum, what the hell is that? That's just a false position, a made-up position by the Mormon Church. So that is one of the cult tactics, is if you're feeling bad about who you are, join the Mormon Church. They'll make you a president of something, and you can say, see, I'm the president. So anyway, one of the things they don't tell you, and God, I have been hassled on this. Like I said, I've been in the church over 50 years. I resigned 5 or 6 years ago. And I'm just coming out of the cult now. I just mentally just try to deprogram from that 50 years in a cult. Man, oh man, it's just, I'm just telling you, it's hard. Anyway, from the Mormons' beginning, we were always told that we are to buy church magazines. Now, church magazines suck. They always have, they always will. Here's why they suck. They are produced by the cult. Are they going to have anything in there that is interesting or anything to research or anything? There's a saying in the Mormon Church that once the prophet speaks, all the thinking has been done. If that ain't the truth, if that is not the most truthful thing I've heard in the Mormon Church, there's nothing else to compare to it. Once the prophet speaks, the thinking has been done. The thinking about getting your money, the thinking how they're going to spend that money, it's all been done. Well, you become the, I think it's called the church magazine representative. See, it's kind of like you're the representative of New England Life or Mass Mutual. You're a rep, which means, I guess, you represent the magazine department of the Mormon Church. Well, the magazine representative, their job is to just hassle the shit out of you till you buy every damn magazine. I think the Ensign, that it used to be called the Improvement Era, but I think that era of improvement went somewhere else. So now it's called the Ensign, and that is from, or Ensign, depends on how you pronounce it. That's from the Book of Mormon. There was some story in the Book of Mormon where they had a battle, but we've never found any relics of their battles. Where somebody put a flag up on the mountain or something, and it was an ensign to the Lamanites. I don't know, dark people, white people, who knows? Just please read the Book of Mormon and have yourself a hell of a laugh. So the ensign name came from that battler flag, and so they use it now for the magazine. So if you're the magazine representative, what you do is you go on a little advertising campaign on a fairly regular basis, and you get a little table, and when the people come into the chapel, you have the magazines displayed kind of like a garage sale. Jeez. I used to believe this crap. A little bit like a flea market, so that people feel guilty. They have to walk by the magazines, and then the representative will say, now I'm paraphrasing here, the prophet of the Lord who speaks to Jesus Christ has asked me to get your $4 a month for the ensign and $2 a month. Yeah, I'm exaggerating, but that's how they do it. They sit there, little old lady just sits there, and people look at her. Hi, do you have your magazines? Oh, guilt, oh God, I feel paranoid, guilt, I didn't buy the magazines. Well, that's why your kids are all getting pregnant. So I think there's the ensign, then I think there's, there used to be, now don't quote me on all of this, but there's the ensign, and there's a young people's magazine. Boy, teenagers really want to read that. My kid can't get her eyes off the damn iPod, and I'm sure she's going to want to put a church magazine in her face. And I think there might be one for the primary children. I don't know. But it seems they weren't outrageously priced, as I remember, because it's propaganda, and the church wants that in your home. So when you walk into a Mormon home, there are certain signs, tokens, and symbols that you know it's a Mormon home. One is the triple combination is on the coffee table. Now, I don't think Mormons call it a coffee table. Maybe they call it a hot chocolate table. I don't know anymore. But there's a triple combination on the coffee table. And then beside the triple combination, there's the church magazines. And then on the side by the couch, it's the Deseret News. Which is the biggest rag in the world. No one watches or listens to or reads the Deseret News newspaper. It is only a public relations arm of the Mormon Church. It doesn't have any news in it. Now, to be sure that this is a Mormon house, you say, is it okay if I get a glass of water? So you go in the kitchen and you look on the fridge. And if you see the sticky fridge men that are Monson, Joseph Smith, it could be anybody, but usually it's modern prophets, the one that's alive right now. Yeah, Profits. Well, so you see Monson's picture there on the refrigerator. Now you're pretty sure it's a Mormon home. But not yet, not yet. You've got to walk down the hall a little bit, and you'll see 900 family pictures from ceiling to floor, all the way down the walls. And in every one of the pictures, it'll be little children dressed in white temple clothes, and the mom and dad standing in front of Tippinoga's temple or Salt Lake or Los Angeles. Now you know that is a Mormon home. Now, if you ever see a picture of Jesus in a Mormon home, call me. I'll change the video. Call me if you ever see a picture of the Mormon Jesus. You'll see pictures of Joseph Smith. You'll see pictures of the temple. You'll see pictures of every cult imaginable, sign, token, symbol that they put up. But in many of them that I've been in, I've never seen a picture of Jesus. Now, if you do, it might be very, very small, and it might be under the bed. I don't know. But they are Christian. There's no doubt about it. They're Christian. So anyway, I just want to let you know about, you have to buy church magazines. You have to pay your tithing. You have to pay your fast offerings. You have to pay for your missionary, his clothing or her clothing and transportation. And there's a lot of expenses of sending a missionary out, even though the Mormon church now pays for their, I think, their rent and their food. And the last budget I saw for food for a missionary was $4 a day. Now, I guess that's half of a Big Mac. That's it for the day. They've taken most of their cars away. They don't have cars anymore. They're out of money. They don't have money for this crap. They've taken their cars away. They moved the stipend down to $4 a day, I think, for food. And the church is now asking members of the church to house the missionaries. And I think they give them $75 a month to house the missionaries. So the members of the church get to sacrifice too, and the missionaries are sacrificing. But Monson and Packer aren't sacrificing shit, but these people are. So you'll see these Mormon magazines, you'll see these Mormon pictures, and you'll see these constant cult signs, tokens, and symbols. Now, I've seen the Catholics, put the St. Christopher medal on, and they wear that at school when I was in school. And I've seen it hanging on the mirrors. Of course, our Mexican friends, and now don't get angry, don't get angry. Our darker skinned Americans and the beautiful Hispanic culture, they hang other stuff on their mirror. It's the flopping dog, it's dice, it's the bobbing. So every race and every religion has its quirks. And, if you're a Mormon, you can hang your garments on the mirror, and everyone knows now that you're a Mormon. But anyway, you're not going to see a lot of Christian kinds of things. Mormons are allergic to crosses. They don't put them on their churches, and they don't believe in the cross. And the reason they say that is because we celebrate the resurrection, not the death of Jesus Christ. Well, isn't it interesting? Go look on the internet and take a look at the Italian temple that the Mormons are just putting up right now. Or I think it's completed now. Look at the front door. Look at the front door of the Italy temple of the Mormons. Look close. There's a cross. First cross I've ever seen. It's on the door, but I don't know if you're in the country of the Pope. Maybe you lower your standards a little bit. So anyway, you pay your tithing, you pay your fast offering, you pay for your missionary, you pay for the magazines, you pay for your own garments, and I can't think of all the ways you pay, but you pay and pray that you can make your bills. And if you get a raise at work, or your wife goes to work, the Mormon church makes out like a bandit because the tithing doubles, or if you go up 4%, then the Mormon church goes up 4%. So it's a good racket, it's a good scam, and if you're happy, you're in the Mormon church, and you love the magazines. Now let me tell you where the magazine articles come from. I think that the church has a couple of writers. I'm not sure. I think they have a couple of writers, but most of the magazine articles will come in from the members of the church who are trying to be, book people and publishers and journalists and whatever. And those all have to be approved. And believe me, there's nothing more boring than a ensign article on anything. And most of the time, there's pictures of Joseph Smith in it and Brigham Young, and they just reinforce. They play that tape over and over and over and over again until finally your brain says, screw it, I'm a Mormon, I'll just bow my head and hang like a rag doll. But they have to be approved, the articles, and most of them are very boring. Now, you do get some haunting things that happen with the Improvement Era and the Ensign, because the Mormons keep records of everything. Sometimes things are said in the church magazines that 10 years later are not doctrine or are not said. And then when you go back and you quote those things, then the Mormons will all scream, well, she wasn't speaking as a prophetess, she was speaking as a woman. So they have a tape. They always play the tape that, they're never wrong. The cult is never wrong. They never apologize, and they're never wrong. Just be aware. The magazines are another scam. And the articles in the magazine come from members of the church that are screened by the church authorities. There was a magazine about 4 months ago that there was a single mom in there. Now here's an example. Here's an example of cult shit. This upsets me. There's an example that there was a single mom, I think she had 4 kids, and she didn't know if she should pay her tithing or buy food for her kids. What do you think the article concluded? What do you think an cult would say whether a single mom should be buying food for her children or paying money to the cult so she can have the windows of heaven open and probably blow her children away because they're so skinny and have no weight on them? So those are the kinds of things that upset me. That the Mormon Church will put out that kind of propaganda, that if you're a parent and you have to choose between feeding your children and obeying the law of the land and not being abuse and neglectful to your children, or giving Monson a few more $100 for the fuel for his Learjet, you give money to Monson. That's being a Mormon.